Hello, everybody. It's Mrs. Pound, and we are going to be studying out of Purposeful Designs Life Science this year. And the first chapter we're going to study is Chapter 1.1 Introduction to Life Science. So, the first section we're going to study is 111, the study of living things. So let's take a look at our objectives. They are to defend why it is important for Christians to pursue scientific inquiries and explain how technology has both enriched and harmed God's creation. So let's first take a look at what science is. First of all, a definition for science is that it is the systematic study of creation using methods based on observation and experimentation. So in this class, we're going to be making a lot of observations and doing a lot of experiments in order to study God's creation. It also involves asking questions, being open to unexpected results, and working with others. So we'll be doing a lot of that as well. It is a tool that tells us more about God's world. And it can help Christians better understand God and His world as scientists. So, those are the things we're going to be taking a look at in this class. So, more specifically, we're going to be studying life science, which is the study of living things. Now, this may also involve talking about non living things at times because living things interact with non living things as well. So, what does the Bible say about the natural world? It actually has a lot to say. First of all, in Genesis 1:1, it says that God created it. Genesis 1:1 says that in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. The Bible also says that He sustains it. That means He is still involved in His creation. And we can read that in Job chapters 38, verses 3 through 39:30. And I'm just going to read a little bit of this because this is two chapters, but I'm going to start out here. Now prepare yourself like a man. I will question you, and you will answer me. Where were you when I laid the foundations of the earth? Tell me if you have understanding. Who determined its measurement? Surely you know. Or who stretched the line upon it? To what were its foundations fastened? Or who laid its cornerstone? When the morning stars sang together and all the sons of God shouted for joy? Or who shut in the sea with doors when it burst forth and issued from the womb? When I made the clouds its garment and thick darkness its swaddling band, when I fixed my limit for it and set bars and doors, when I said, this far you may come, but no farther, and here your proud waves must stop. Have you commanded the morning since your days began, and caused the dawn to know its place, that it might take hold of the ends of the earth, and the wicked be shaken out of it? It takes on form like clay under a seal, and stands out like a garment. From the wicked their light is withheld, and the upraised arm is broken. Have you entered the springs of the sea, or have you walked in search of the depths? Have the gates of death been revealed to you, or have you seen the doors of the shadow of death? Have you comprehended the breadth of the earth? Tell me if you know all this. Now, I'm going to stop there, but if you get the idea, God continues asking Job lots of questions about creation to show that he is still involved in his creation. The Bible also states that he loves its variety and bounty. In Genesis 1, verses 21 through 22, we read, so God created great sea creatures and every living thing that moves, with which the waters abounded according to their kind, and every winged bird according to its kind. And God saw that it was good. And God blessed them, saying, be fruitful and multiply, and fill the waters and the seas, and let birds multiply on the earth. Cares about his creatures. And we can see this in Genesis 6, verses 19 through 20. And of every living thing of all flesh you shall bring two of every sort into the ark to keep them alive with you. They shall be male and female, of the birds after their kind, and of animals after their kind, and of every creeping thing of the earth after its kind. Two of every kind will come to you to keep them alive. And also in Psalm 65, verses 9 through 13. You visit the earth and water it, you greatly enrich it. The river of God is full of water. You provide their grain, for so you have prepared it. You water its ridges abundantly, you settle its furrows, you make it soft with showers, you bless its growth. You crown the year with your goodness, and your paths drip with abundance. They drop on the pastures of the wilderness, and the little hills rejoice on every side. The pastures are clothed with flocks. The valleys are also covered with grain. They shout for joy. They also sing. So you can still see here how God is involved in his creation and just how he takes care of it by providing for it. The Bible also states that he will one day free all of his creation. We read in Romans 8, verses 19 through 21. For the earnest expectation of the creation eagerly waits for the revealing of the sons of God. For the creation was subjected to futility, not willingly, but because of him who subjected it in hope. Because the creation itself also will be delivered from the bondage of corruption into the glorious liberty of the children of God. So even though we have sin and everything is in bondage now, one day it will be free from that sin and the effects of sin. Now, also related to science is technology. This is the application of science. This is where we get our computers from, vaccines, medicine, all those types of things. That is actually the application of science. And that application of science can either enrich God's creation, and some ways that it does that are through medicine. We have lots of medicines, especially antibiotics, that help us to make better and get over diseases. Better crops. We're able to feed people better, and so people are able to live longer and healthier lives because we have more food. Manufactured goods. You can see here not only the food in the background, but clothing and metal to make the carts and all of those things enrich our lives, materials to make our homes, and all kinds of things are applied science. However, this can also harm God's creation. Some ways that God's creation is harmed through science and technology are ozone depletion. Where we have released gases into the air that deplete the ozone layer. Pollution. We see here nuclear waste, chemical waste, pollution, air pollution, all kinds of different types of pollution that result from using technology. Overuse of natural resources. So here we can see a strip mine in the background and here in the foreground, where the land has just been completely stripped of everything, and so there are no trees or anything. There are some resources we are running out of or have greatly damaged because we have overused them. Nuclear weapons. Okay, and we see the mushroom cloud here from an atomic bomb. Just great devastation, causes a lot of pollution as well. And when people were bombed with the nuclear bombs, it caused a lot of health issues as well to those people who actually survived. And environmental changes, whether it be weather changes perhaps, or other changes to the environment. And this one is a bit controversial, okay, but it is a possibility, so I list it here. So before I go over our objectives again, to make sure that you are studying this video, I want you to, by your name, write a word or a phrase or draw a picture of your favorite thing to study in science. The other thing I want you to know is that that column on the left-hand side where it says 5 questions, you are to go back through your notes and write 5 questions about your notes. So 5 questions for the whole section, not for each page. Go back and write 5 questions that you think might be questions that would be on the test. So For example, you might write, um, what are some ways that science enriches the earth? Okay, or God's creation. So look in your notes. So look in your notes and write 5 questions that you think would make good test questions. And if you need help with that, um, ask myself or another student. So So our objectives for this video were to defend why it is important for Christians to pursue scientific inquiries and explain how technology has both enriched and harmed God's creation.